Hey, college wrestling fans, this is Johnny Thompson, number one. We have a special guest today, head coach of Andrew College, Coach Billy Gordy. I want to thank you for being on the program today, Coach Gordy. Going ahead here, you guys, year one, the very first year of NJCAA wrestling, you guys have 10 all 10 guys qualified for the national tournament. You guys win the Gulf Atlantic District. You have three champions there, also crowning the most outstanding wrestler. How in the world do you go from starting a program at the beginning of the season to being district champs at the end of the year?
Yeah, I think building a program, has a ton of highs and lows all throughout the year. Um, and basically, I think it just started with getting the guys to buy in, fully trust the process, fully believe in themselves, and eventually trying to get them to reach their full potential. And there was a time where we were just struggling a little bit, trying to find who we are. And then at the end of the year, things just started clicking. And actually the Gulf Atlantic District tournament was a crazy one. So basically we drive 17 and a half hours to Scranton, Pennsylvania from South Georgia. And we get there the night before to practice, and they didn't even know who we are. They didn't know we were coming, any of that. So it was just like a crazy ride of like, we get there and we're not even supposed to be in the tournament. Um, and it's like, all right, guys, head to weight. I'm gonna head up here and get all these logistics squared away, and then we wake up the next day and just go out there and perform. I really think it just started with the guys buying in and having a little bit of success there helps. Having three guys in the finals, all three won it. And then just the guys on the backside of the bracket. I truly believe tournaments are won on the backside. And the guys just came back and had vengeance of like, hey, this is what we're here to do.
And then you guys are able to continue carrying that success into the NJCAA tournament. You had Riley Brewer and Jawar George. They both finished, unfortunately, that heartbreaking round of 12 loss. But Amonte Mills, captures that All American finish and becomes you guys' first ever All American with the fourth place finish. What is those three guys especially, and the rest of your team as well, but talking specifically to Amonte Mills, what is he meant to the Tiger program?
Man, I think all three of those guys, are kind of a huge stepping stone in who we are. All three pull their weight in this program. Definitely three leaders in this program. And, obviously with Riley Brewer and Jabari George coming up short, definitely a heartbreaker, but I definitely believe they return back, and look forward to having high things with them returning. Then with Mills, that guy, I think it just starts with building a relationship, and building bonds with the guys. Mills, he believes in me, he trusts me, and the guy will go out there and perform. He's definitely one of the hardest workers I've ever coached. He just comes in and works out 3 or 4 times a day. He definitely puts the work in. And I think also his whole family. The whole family is extremely talented. Um, and he's also returning. So, he came here at Andrew with the goal of, hey, I want to be the program's first national champ. And we fell short, losing in the national semifinals 1-0. But I think he's hungrier now. I think he's going to come back and stand on business as far as like, hey, I came here to do this and this is what I'm coming here to do. But no, I mean, definitely extremely proud of all three of those guys. And I look forward to all three of them being on the podium, and hopefully Mills being a tad bit higher next year. So.
You know, for those of us that are big college wrestling fans, we're so used to talking about like East Coast wrestling, Pennsylvania and New Jersey, New York, Midwest wrestling, Iowa, Illinois, a little bit of West Coast. You don't hear a whole heck of a lot about wrestling in the South, especially in the Southeast. And one of the things that I want to point out to college wrestling fans out there, these aren't kids being brought in from other places that you recruited to Georgia. Out of your 10 NJCAA qualifiers, 8 of these kids are from Georgia. One of them was from South Carolina, and then the other one was from Alabama. So, what is it for you as a coach and for you, demonstrating what Southeastern uh, area of the United States wrestling can be a part of? What does that mean to you to show that, you know what, our boys from Georgia, they can wrestle too?
Yeah, I think one thing about us at Andrew is we are in a unique situation of being the only junior college in the Southeast with wrestling. And there's a ton of talent in the Southeast, that, hey, I don't want to go across the country to all these other junior colleges in Iowa, Oklahoma, Kansas, places like that. So stay right here at home. And I think as far as the state of Georgia as a whole, we have shown extremely growth in wrestling, probably over, especially the past 5 years, but probably within this 10-year time stretch. We are putting a lot more Division I guys out there, and things like that. I think our club scene in the state of Georgia is growing and getting better and improving. Like I said, there's a ton of talent in the Southeast that, hey, I want all you guys. I want all you guys to come here and, prove yourself that you belong in college wrestling.
With the success of Andrew College Wrestling right off the bat, and you guys are only going to get more successful as time goes on. You were the Gulf Atlantic District Coach of the Year. Do you think, with others seeing the success of Andrew, we'll start to see more junior college wrestling in Georgia, Florida, Alabama, so on and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely hope so. I would love to, help the junior college route continue to grow. I'm a huge advocate for it. I believe a lot of guys out there deserve opportunities. And I think that's one thing in junior college, come here, grow and develop. Um, and I definitely hope there will be a lot more junior colleges in the Southeast.
That makes two of us. I had a coach in another interview I did the other day he coached at Chattahoochee Valley in Phoenix City, Alabama for a couple of years before they dropped their program. And it was weird, he was telling me about all these junior college programs that were in the area back in the day, like Miami-Dade. They had a heck of a good program. He named a couple other ones too, but I'm with you. I really, really hope we get to see the growth of junior college wrestling in the Southeast. Now, another thing I wanted to ask you about real quick, Cuthbert, Georgia, town of about 3,000 people. You guys are about a 2.5 hour drive south of Atlanta, and then about a 2 hour drive of Montgomery, Alabama. Um, what, like, speaking specifically to Andrew College as well as to the community of Cuthbert, Georgia, how has the college responded to having wrestling on campus, and how has the community responded to having college wrestling?
Yeah, so the town of Cuthbert is extremely small. We don't have a McDonald's. We only have one stoplight, things like that. So, it truly takes someone who really loves the sport of wrestling to come down here. We're about 2 hours away from everything, Atlanta, Tallahassee, Birmingham, things like that. So, but as far as the town goes, so our president, he was a previously athletic director. So he understands small college athletics. And he definitely supports wrestling, backs wrestling, loves wrestling. He actually flew out to our national tournament this year. So how many presidents are flying out to your wrestling national tournament? So definitely having a guy like that as our head man, definitely speaks volume. And then as the town itself, they love wrestling. Even though it's still brand new, they still get excited about home duels, things like that. And I'm just trying to help, branch out the sport of wrestling, especially in our town, and get a lot more people invited over here and kind of watch our guys go out there and perform.
Yeah, I think you're doing a great job so far. It's going to continue success for you guys. On behalf of Johnny Thompson #1, I want to thank you for being a part of our program today. And if there's anything else you'd like to add, go right ahead before we end this interview.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to say it kind of takes a village to build a program. Um, and there's a ton of people behind Andrew College. I just want to thank my Beyonce, Lena, son, Lil Man, mom, dad, Brumbelow, Big Ken, Pop Mills, White, all those guys, for believing, trusting, and I'm definitely looking forward to next season. And let's just at the end of the day see how good we truly can be.
Well, thanks again, Coach, and I hope you have yourself a great day.
Yes, sir.